Hello, everyone. Welcome to the WUCHANG podcast, episode 241, recording on Monday, July 28th, 2025. My name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
Huck will not be here tonight. He had prior engagements, so we'll see next week what's going on and catch up with him. For today's show, we're going to talk about some games that are new to Game Pass, WUCHANG, Fallen Feathers, and Wheel World, and also get into some more DK Bananza thoughts. And in the spirit of that, the first thing I have to do is ask, do I have to leave the podcast? I promised I would have beaten DK Bananza by the next time we record, and I'm here with my tail between my legs. I have not beaten DK Bananza.
Well, I mean, I know you've been putting a lot of time into it, so I feel like you've at least put some effort in that direction.
Okay, correct? This is my rationale. Number one, I've put 25 hours in the last 2 days. Like, I've played nonstop.
It's pretty good.
and that's not just because I was like, well, I have to quit the podcast if I don't finish it by the time we record. That was on my mind, but I just liked it that much. I was enjoying playing it. And part of my enjoyment is collecting everything in a level, basically 100%ing a level before I go on to the next one. And that's because of that, I think, is the reason. So, I mean, I could have beaten it if I just would have plowed through the story, but that's not the way I like to play. So
play games.
I gave it an honest effort. I did, but the game's just too good. I have to collect everything. I have to find everything. So I'm begging for forgiveness from you. I'll beg for Huck's forgiveness next week as well. And most importantly, I'm begging for the listeners' forgiveness. If you think I have to quit, if you think this is the end, you can leave it in the comments. I'll use that information to decide how this plays out. But we're going to record today.
Yeah, let's do the show today. I mean, you know, I'm a very forgiving person. I am more than willing to see past this. Let's keep going with the show. But you know what? If the listeners say no, I have to respect that.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the end. But in all fairness, I should say there might be conspiracy theories forming already that's why Huck isn't here tonight, that he knew I hadn't beaten it and he's taking a hard stand. That is not the case. I want to make that very clear. He does not know yet whether or not or the fact that I did break. It wasn't a solemn vow. I'm pretty sure I didn't say the word solemn vow. It was worse. I said, if I haven't beaten it by next show, I have to dismiss myself from the podcast because I'm not a real gamer. But I am a real gamer. I gamed so hard for the last 48 hours. Well, I guess not so much today, but Saturday and Sunday. It was nonstop. So I'm going to continue on for now. We'll see what happens. Okay, is that all right with you, Sean?
Sounds great.
Okay, but we did play some new stuff as well. WUCHANG and Wheel World. So other than that, not a lot of news, right? Is there anything going on?
I mean, Battlefield 6 trailer. I mean, it was all cinematic stuff, I think. So no real opinions there.
I didn't even see it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I actually only saw like one rumbling that made me. Maybe it was even on the Discord where I was like, oh, I guess they announced a new Battlefield game. It was kind of unclear to me even. Not a lot of press going on for this.
There is, I think they said, a multiplayer trailer coming this week, which probably is what more people are interested in. I mean, I'm kind of just interested that they're doing a campaign again. That's kind of cool, but.
Oh, they did say that? All right.
Yeah. But yeah. Nothing really to say there. You know, Xbox dropped the price of some of their games, like the $80 games that were going to be coming out this year. I can't remember which ones they were now. I think.
Do they have other games coming out this year?
Outer Worlds 2.
Okay, yes.
And there may be another one that was going to be $80. They said, no, it's going to be $70. So I think, you know, they're trying to make up for maybe a little bit of bad PR that's been going on lately. But
wow, that's a huge cut. This is it's going to make a big difference. It might make a difference when they sell them on PlayStation. But eventually, I'm surprised they haven't done something where they're cheaper on Xbox than they are on PlayStation, or bumping the prices on PlayStation to kind of.
That's true. Yeah.
Coordinate that. I think they'd probably just end up making more money. But I did see, I was looking for pre-orders for what comes out this week. And has anyone done this before? Where it was for NBA 2K26 or whatever. And I think that's the next one. And they, like, the pre-order's already up, right? It doesn't come out for like a few months. And has anyone ever experimented, especially for games with virtual currencies, like a pre-order? And the earlier you pre-order, you get, for each month, you get a multiplier on virtual currency for when you eventually start the game or something like that. Because I don't understand why anyone would pre-order anything other than the week before, unless
yeah. I mean, you're kind of, if you can wait and hear some word of mouth right up to the last minute and still get the pre-order bonuses if you want it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's against the law or against PlayStation or Xbox store policies. I don't know. It just seems like if it was a game I thought I was going to love, let's say they announced Concord is coming back in a year from now. We're rebooting Concord. If you pre-order it now, every month you stack this currency. I might think twice because it's Concord and I might lose all that currency within a week. But assuming the game was going to be good, I would definitely pre-order now. But otherwise, I see no reason to pre-order early, ever. I still think there's, like, during the week, like you said, sometimes I do that. But I do my best to wait for reviews or some kind of knowledge.
I mean, I think most people would say, what is the point of pre-ordering at all? But, I mean, obviously you do get some bonuses but yeah, it's a very good point, I think.
Anyway, just a thought. Okay, let's get into what we played. Starting with WUCHANG Fallen Feathers, which you did not play, correct?
I did not.
It is on Game Pass.
Yeah, I saw it there. Thought about downloading it, but I did not.
So I think it's only 14 gig download. Go for it, dude.
Okay. Well, if you tell me what you thought of it, maybe I will.
I mean, in some ways, this is the year of the AA Souls-like. You've got this game. Berserker Kazan is actually getting a lot of love. Even another one, AI Limit, I've heard some stuff about as well. And it just kind of seems, other than From Software, like they're all very similar. They don't want to mess with the formula too much. They've become pretty formulaic, other than every one of these has some twist or new system to the combat that separates it from the other Souls-likes. But I do feel like we've hit a bit of a saturation point with these games, in that it's a template. It is what it is. You create a world that works within this framework people really like, and hopefully your combat is good enough, and I think your world and bosses are compelling enough that it draws people into it. I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with that. It just feels like, okay, there is a recipe to making these, and it makes sense why they've entered more of a AA landscape. And I'm just not seeing a ton of advancements or changes until maybe really since From Software made Elden Ring open world was a big one. And now anything that's not open world is kind of relegated to a AA space for the most part. And again, nothing wrong with that, just an observation. I did not play. I played the demo of Kazan, and I did not try AI Limit. But I don't know why. I was just in the mood to try something new. I think it's because I cashed in all of my PlayStation rewards money, and I was like, let's blow it on something. Let's get this thing, only $66 on the PlayStation Store. And the reviews were decent. I am enjoying it. I haven't played it that much. I got sidetracked by Bananza, but I thought the combat was pretty good. The new system or mechanic for this game, I would say, is you can kind of stack these, like certain moves generate an economy for more powerful moves, and you can save them and stack them and like use them when you want. And it's kind of similar. you could stack combos in Flintlock. I think that's what that game was called, Siege of Dawn or something, I think. And it had like a stacking experience with multipliers and a risk reward system. It's certainly not that complex, but it has like a little bit of decision making, player agency when you want to use this currency for more powerful moves or build it up. And I kind of like it. I think it looks great for like a lower budget game. I've been pretty impressed with the graphics. And it feels like another Souls-like that's pretty good, along the lines of Lies of P or something like that. I haven't hit too many bosses. I've heard there's major difficulty spikes in the game. So I've only played for an hour or two. So I can't really express too much on how, if those difficulty spikes are accurate or how bad they are. But I think it's pretty good. If you like Souls-likes, it's worth checking out 100%.
Like, what is the setting or theme of this? Is this like another samurai thing or not really?
I think it's better. So it's, the Ming Dynasty, China, I think. And it's more like Sekiro, a fantasy infused world. You have this affliction where I can't remember how you got it, but you have like these feathers that are growing. It's like a disease that's spreading and you're trying to stop it, I think is the best. But I don't know. I haven't hit a major like Neo level or Sekiro level boss where it's like, oh wow, this is crazy, which I'm sure exists somewhere. The bosses I've encountered are like mini bosses, human stature type things, and it's good so far. I mean, it's not as good as Sekiro or anything like that, but it's a decent game. And for the price, I would say worth checking out if you're into these types of games.
Very cool.
I wouldn't say very cool. It's cool.
I mean, I feel like the reviews have been pretty good from what I've seen. So
yeah, it's decent. Give it a poke.
Okay. I will follow that up with Wheel World, which I did check out and is also on Game Pass. This is from the developers of Nidhogg, looks like. Which
that was a long time ago, no?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if they've done anything else. Looks like there was a sequel to that called Fly Wrench. I do not remember that at all.
Well, there's also Nidhogg 2.
Okay.
And well, Fly Wrench was after that, then Nidhogg 2. And I think that's it that I can see on Steam anyway, from developer Messhoff. I almost went Jar Jar there, Messhoff.
Yeah, so this is, I guess, like the thing I've been hearing most people describing it as, not like 100% accurate, but like it's basically like a Breath of the Wild biking game. And it is kind of that sort of art style of like cell shaded, very kind of colorful, and I mean it kind of reminded me of Sable as well. Which, was also, I would say, Breath of the Wild influenced. So the thing is, like, you're riding a bike, and there's kind of this this lore to biking, and there's like, gods of biking, and you're kind of there's this spirit that has you've encountered that's kind of directing you along this journey. And you are trying to find different items to power up your bike, handlebars, wheels, whatever. And there are shrines, kind of like Breath of the Wild, not like that there's puzzles to solve or anything, but
I'm assuming it's races or obstacle courses or something like that with your bike.
Races is the main thing you're doing, but there is, a lot of exploration. And so the shrines kind of unlock points on the map. It's kind of like an Assassin's Creed type thing. When you get to one of these shrines, you ring a bell, and then you can see more of the map or more points on the map. And yeah, so far I've done one kind of main race, which seems like that's there's no real combat in the game as far as I can tell, and you kind of just you have to race rivals, and then there's kind of like challenge races as well. And I mean, that's kind of it from what I've seen so far. And
how does the bike riding feel? Like that when I think of games with bike riding, Bully comes to mind, and the bike riding sections of Spider-Man 2, I thought actually had pretty good bike riding feeling mechanics for riding. Is it comparable to that or better?
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty good. You can get going pretty fast, and then, you know, you're going around corners feeling like a little tentative, like, am I going to, you know, fly off my bike? Or, you know, I don't know, at one point, like I was trying to corner in the race, and I kind of just slid a little bit to the point where I was now on the other side of this fence. And then I had to like loop back around. So that was kind of annoying, but you know, that's kind of you're trying to balance your speed versus your handling, I guess, basically, which is probably what you'd expect, but it does feel good, especially when you get going fast down some hills and stuff like that. You can draft behind other people, and you have like a boost mechanic. And yeah, so that stuff's pretty good. I guess the thing that I was thinking about playing it was kind of like, I like the exploration, but I feel limited being on the bike, because you can't really, and maybe this would change with different upgrades and stuff, but like when you start going off into grass and stuff, you're kind of going pretty slow. There are like ramps and stuff you can jump off of, but you can't jump yourself as far as I know. So you kind of, you feel kind of boxed in, and you can get off your bike to walk up to things, but it's not like you're still holding on to your bike. So it's not like you can just leave it behind and go explore on foot. So it just
kind of reminds me of exploration Mario Kart World and some of the frustrations I felt there. And I was under the assumption Nintendo would find a way to make that fun, and I don't think they really succeeded. So I can't imagine a game that doesn't have like the jumping and grinding and some of the like extreme traversal mechanics of Mario Kart World to be that much fun to explore.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like maybe there is stuff later on in the game, but that was kind of what felt like was missing to me. But it wasn't like, it's interesting you brought up Mario Kart World, because I was thinking to myself, like, this structure, because you know, you're basically, there is a story and you're kind of playing through that, and then you progress by doing these races, and then you unlock more parts of the map. And I kind of was thinking, well, that's what the open world part of Mario Kart World could have been. Like, they could have had a story, and you're slowly unlocking parts of the map, and that would have actually made it more fun, I think, for me anyway. So
I think that's what 90% of people assumed it would be when Nintendo said they're making an open world exploration version of Mario Kart. I think that's what everyone assumed, and was shocked to find out that was not the case.
Yeah, so I don't know, that's weird, but I mean, I don't know if I'm going to return to this. I mean, I just have so many other games I'd probably rather play, but again, reviews have been pretty solid. If you're looking for something that's kind of an open world game that's not like, you know, combat focused and not super high pressure, maybe feels a bit summery, we'll say.
What's the deal with the skull, the ghost skull? Does it do anything? Like, what kind of powers does it have?
I mean, it's just, so far from what I've seen, it's just kind of your guide in the world.
Is it?
Yeah, like
Isn't that like a mechanic related to the skull?
I mean, he's tied to like your boost mechanic and stuff, but it's...
Isn't that more like diegetic UI in the game, I'm assuming? Like his...
Kind of, yeah.
Like when it's recharged and stuff like that, I assume the green flame changes or does something.
That. Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty good.
All right. Well, you're not selling me.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It says the main story is 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing that I was like, oh, you know, at some point maybe I'll go back and just try to power through it. But I don't, like, the races aren't that interesting to me. Like, again, it's like if there becomes more supernatural stuff and kind of crazy stuff happening in the races, that might be more of interest to me. But the races just on their own they're fine, but they're not amazing.
All right. Well, I am intrigued still. Well, I'd like to check it out at some point. I think I said I no longer have Game Pass, so wasn't willing to drop the coin on this one.
Can't be dabbling as much anymore.
That's okay. I'm fine with not dabbling on Game Pass. I still buy a lot of stuff. Okay, I guess all that's left is DK Bananza thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple other quick things at the end, but let's definitely get into Bananza.
Well, I am absolutely in love with this game. I might ask it to marry me. It might be the best game I've ever played.
Whoa.
I'm kind of feeling that way, where it's borrowing from, I mean, obviously you got to compare it to Mario Odyssey. I would bet my life it's 90% of the same team that worked on Mario Odyssey. There's so many similarities, and I mean, obviously Nintendo overseeing it. They make good decisions with what's fun and what isn't, but even the villains and the structure of the game feels very similar. But I'm feeling an influence of another game, a very small game, a small game that got huge, that I don't know if anyone else is talking about this. Do you know what game I'm speaking of, Sean? Is there...
I don't. I mean, I was reminded of SteamWorld Dig a little bit, but I assume that's not what you're talking about.
I cannot help but feel the influence of Vampire Survivors on this game. You are constantly sucking things in, getting things, and there's like, you're finding bananas or banandium gems very frequently. If you're like breaking stuff, even when I have an outfit change so that when I dig, I find treasure more often. And I'm just finding stuff constantly. I'm just getting stuff, and then you get a banandium gem, and then it's like you got a skill point, and then you go to this other thing, and it really feels like a very similar game loop in terms of economies and progress to Vampire Survivors, including the sound design, the like spectacle of when you upgrade or do something. I think they've absolutely knocked that out of the park, and that is like that addictive quality. Obviously, or famously, Vampire Survivors was made by someone who worked on slot machines and kind of knew what the addictive nature of those machines was all about. And it's more prevalent in Vampire Survivors, or at least more obviously comparable to slot machines. But I really feel that influence. I am getting stuff constantly. There's very rarely a moment where I'm just like walking with this character. And I'd say that the way that reveals itself the most, when I saw the first videos, I was like, this Bananza, when you go into Bananza mode. So the first one you get is just like a bigger kind of Donkey Kong type character that can smash really fast and is more powerful. And I'm like, I always assume with these type of rage meters and God of War and other stuff like that, it takes forever to activate them. And nothing could be further from the truth in this game. They've almost made it that you can activate it constantly. It's very rare they're like, oh, they know that it's fun. They are not gating you from not doing that. As soon as you start unlocking Bonanzas, you can use them almost at will. And that is such a smart decision. I feel like every decision in this game has been, we want this game to be as fun as possible. And what's the fun thing to do? It's to go use this banana energy and do crazy stuff, or use one of the powers. And just, have you gotten the fourth one yet?
Fourth power?
Yeah. Like the fourth animal character you can transform into.
I got the next one after the one you just mentioned.
Oh, okay. So the next two are okay. They're more like traversal powers. Not that interesting to me. But first and fourth are like both game changers. And I think they were very specifically picked to be 1 and 4. In terms of 1, I still use. 2 and 3, I use selectively. And 4, once you get it, it kind of changes the game completely, how fast you can get through terrain. So I'm just blown away. I've got more thoughts, but what do you got? What's what's going on where you're at.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say the Vampire Survivors thing is an interesting thought. I actually think Nintendo has been going kind of in that direction already to some extent. Like I remember some of the new Super Mario Brothers games just feeling like they realized instead of giving a couple coins, let's give like hundreds of coins, and just keep adding and adding and adding. And that stuff.
I do have to mention a Ratchet and Clank influence there as well, I think. Like as technology got better, those Ratchet and Clank games the nuts and bolts would just start to be everywhere. So I feel that influence as well.
And I think there's maybe some influence from Astrobot just in the sense that it's just what is fun. That's all they care about.
100%.
And like, let's not challenge people or, put any roadblocks up. Just let people have fun. And so like last week we were kind of talking and I had this like feeling of like, I don't know, the progression in the game, something about it was bugging me and I couldn't quite figure out what it was. And I now know what it is, which is that unlike Super Mario Odyssey, where you're collecting the stars, you have to find a certain number of stars to move on to the next level. In this game, you're collecting the bananas, but you don't need a certain number to move on. It's just they're used to upgrade your abilities, but they are not used to gate your progress in the game really at all. So that could be seen as good, and in a lot of ways I think it is. But I guess just for me, they leave it to you to decide how many of these bananas you want to try to collect. If you're like Frank, you're like 100%ing it, no questions asked.
I have to. I don't have a choice.
I am kind of in between where I'm like, I want to do most of them, but then when I'm like almost done, I'm like, okay, I kind of want to move on to the next level now. But then I'm like, but now I feel like I don't know, it bugs me that I didn't 100% it, but I don't want to 100% if I don't have to. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I see. I would make a case that that's a plus for the game, that I want to find stuff and I'm motivated to smash and use radar and find as much as I can while I'm progressing through the story. Obviously, I have a little more obsessive tendencies than you. But to me, that is just proof that the core mechanic of smashing, which you talked a bit about last week, how good it is, and I thought so as well. It really is like so impressive how they've done the smashing and built a whole game around that. And there's lots of things that are coming up in the game that I would like to talk about specifically. I assume I would love to do a review of this game at some point because I have many, many thoughts. But, in terms of, is this Astrobot? Yeah. Is this the best platformer ever? You're looking modern Odyssey, Astrobot, and Donkey Kong. And I when it comes to this and Odyssey, I have to give the edge to this over Odyssey based on the fact that the core mechanic is so much more fun than Mario's, which was just throwing the hat, which was okay. I never felt like throwing this hat and jumping on it is so much fun, where the main mechanic of DK Bananza is still satisfying 25 hours later.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. The one thing that Odyssey has is I feel like there's more satisfaction that comes from collecting the stars because it unlocks some additional progress. But
I kind of like the skill tree, and I understand what you're saying. I don't have a preference, obviously, based on the nature of how I play games. I understand the criticism, but you can gate yourself, dude. You don't have to continue on the story.
That's true.
Go some self-control, dude. Go exploring for a bit. But the pacing is so incredible to me. And every time where I encounter something where I'm like starting to feel a little frustrated, or I don't feel like this part is as good as the rest of the game, the counterpunch to that is incredible. Or it's just pure fun. So you get to a point where you have to choose between two possible worlds to go to next. It's not like purely linear. And both of those worlds, I would say, were starting to get a little challenging. And, you know, you could take damage and die a bit easier. And I was still loving it, but I was like just kind of a little bit burnt out on that. And then the next area you go to, I think the next two areas are just pure fun. I think they knew, like, these were a little more hardcore, for lack of a better word, and challenging. And these next two areas are just go nuts, have fun. And like, it introduces some mechanics that are like, just plain fun, Sean. That's what they are. And how they use the idea of like digging in one of the levels I'm talking about, or layers. It's just like, this is incredible. And it really proves that the digging and how they obscure elements of the screen to see a path really works. Like, I'm absolutely blown away. And second, to second what you said last week, the map stuff is incredible. It's the best map I've ever had in an open world game ever, period. End of story. And the rotating camera thing you talked about, I didn't notice it. It is a game changer. You are correct.
Yeah, that stuff's amazing. I will say, though, the one world that I'm on now, which I think is still the ice world, sometimes you go into that map and you're like, it's blocking, like the top part is blocking what you're looking for. And you're like, you have to keep rotating and moving in and out to try to see something. Like, that's the only thing that bugs me about it.
All right, that's fair. And there is a little bit of that. I completely agree. But the rotation is so fast in that map. Like, it's not slow. Like, you can whip this thing around, that it's not really an issue. If I did have to give, and then there's one area later on, and I don't know if I should say what it involves. I'll say racing. It involves racing. Okay. I think they even had this in the Nintendo Direct for it, where like it's Rambi racing, the rhinoceros. I was like, this is going to be incredible. And I played it, and I'm like, I don't really get this. This is not, the controls are not great. It's okay. It's a nice change up for what you've been doing. And it kind of takes the theme of breaking through terrain and adds it to a racing game that I think is a very clever way of doing it. But I'm like, I wasn't having that much fun. And normally when these types of things happen in a Nintendo game, it's like, okay, you get the first banana and then you have to do it 3 more times and get a better time and race against different people to get all these other, and it was just one. It's just one thing. I'm like, they knew this wasn't that much fun. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. We obviously have to keep it in the game. There's a ton of work that went into it, but no need to overextend it. I'm sure there might be some post-game content that uses it, but I was like, I am so impressed that they made the decision to just do one race. And I was like, they only care about fun. That's it. They recognize what works and what doesn't. And as we've said many times before, they do not overuse mechanics. They use them perfectly. This goes back to Galaxy and Mario 3D World. Just great ideas that they do not beat to death. It's and I haven't even said the art. I think it is the best looking non-photorealistic game I've ever seen. Every character blows my mind how good it is. Every animal, when you get a skill point or a banana when you have a Bananza animal active, that pose is so good. I love seeing it every time. It's not perfect. I don't think a perfect game has ever been made, but it might be the best game I've ever played. It's so good.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty big praise.
I don't know if it would take my number one spot in terms of what Uncharted meant to me in terms of loving games and changing how I look at them. There's a personal, connection to that. But I think Odyssey was number 3, and this is better than Odyssey. And it definitely, you can't deny the influence of Astrobot, especially with the way it uses rumble and other elements. And there's like mechanics lifted directly from Astrobot. But the reason why this one would be better than Astrobot is it has an entirely new mechanic, not to mention I assume, a very technically challenging mechanic to pull off.
Yeah.
And Astrobot is very fun, but it's still your basic platformer with jumping and like an attack and something like that. This, and I actually think there's credit to Astrobot that they made a game that fun with such a limited core skill set for the character. And it's all about power ups and what you find. But how can I be playing a game at the age of 45, having played tons of platformers? And it's so rare I play a game and say, you know what? This game's doing stuff I've never seen done before. And it makes it fun. That's very hard to find. So I was absolutely correct in declaring this game of the year when I saw the direct, and I would be shocked if it is not my game of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little like, I didn't want to say that last week. I was like, yeah, maybe, but it's like, yeah, I'm kind of definitely for this year. I don't know if anything's going to top it, but one other small nitpick that we talked about previously, got to mention it. When you get enough bananas to level up and pick a new ability, there's a screen that opens up. If you close that, because, you know, sometimes you want to save up for more bananas or whatever, right?
Or if you're used to playing other consoles and you hit B instead of A,
also
you cancel out of it.
If you close that, I don't think there's a way to get back to it until you hit the next upgrade. I haven't been able to find it. So it seems strange, but let me know if there is a way. Yeah,
I've not discovered it myself. I thought maybe in the closets in the house you build, it might be there, but I don't think it is. And I definitely agree that it's a minor flaw, but the good news is you get skill points so often that it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely.
And I find myself banking skill points for stuff I want, which I rarely do in games. I always use them. And in this game, like, no, I want that. I'm saving up for that. And I'm very specific about the power-ups I want. And assuming I'm going to get a new Bonanza power, I want to save up stuff so I can juice that up as soon as I get it. And, dude, this game is blowing my mind. And it might have the greatest collection of Nintendo puns or clever word plays ever assembled. I think I'd have to, whether it's elevators, teleporters, banana chips, there's more. The elders look so good when you in each level. Even like that's not even a main character, like it's a side character, and they're incredible looking. I want amiibos for every Bonanza energy animal and pairing with Pauline. I want every elder 1/6 scale replica models on my desk. I've never seen a better looking game in my life.
You will get those amiibos.
I hope so.
Worry.
I just, it's incredible, this game. And I actually don't think people are talking about it enough.
Well, I think just a lot of people don't have the Switch 2 yet. So, I mean, that's the thing that's going to hold it back. Interesting question. Will this, at the Game Awards, I know for us, it's probably going to be Game of the Year. Will the Game Awards name it Game of the Year? I don't think it's going to be Clair Obscur. I think Clair Obscur is already a lock.
What, your mind? This game is Game of the Year. I hope I can bet on this, and I hope Clair Obscur is like a heavy favorite, because I will bet on this heavily. It's undeniable. I could see like we gave it to Astrobot 2 years ago, and it's kind of the same or similar. Another 3D platformer. Bullshit. I do want to go back to Clair Obscur because I've got some tips on making that better. That I wasn't getting when I played it the first time, specifically using sound for cues instead of visuals for timing. But if you think Clair Obscur is better than DK Bananza, you shouldn't be voting on Game of the Year. It's plain and simple.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess Astrobot is maybe the example where it'll follow that path, but it feels like stuff that's a little more family friendly, and Nintendo specifically tends to not win, but we'll see.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, it would be to their own discredit. Do whatever you want, Game Awards. I don't care. You will be wrong, whatever you decide, if it's not DK Bananza. And I mean, this begs the question. This should be Game of the Year. Astrobot was Game of the Year for many that year, including the Game Awards. Are we seeing a 3D platformer renaissance? And why are we not seeing more of them? If I was Phil, I would be putting a team on a Banjo-Kazooie influenced version of these two. They would have been on it after Astrobot, first of all, but by now you're already too late. But this should be in the works for sure. Banjo-Kazooie is still beloved, and they've never done anything with it other than Nuts and Bolts, which was a turd.
Well,
and that's, you know what? I'm blaming Rare for that. Rare are a bunch of heroes. They're like, oh, we didn't want to do the same thing again. We want to do different things. We never want to do the same thing or get a... Shut up. Make a good game for once, and then no one would care.
Well, I was going to say, did Ukulele kill the possibility of that? Because I don't think it did that well when it originally came out, but
yeah, well, probably because Ukulele sucked when it came out. It was
really
brutal.
It was really buggy and stuff, right?
Yeah. I know I've said this before. I think it's the Great Rampo. That boss is burned into my mind. The first boss in the first area of that game. I really should do a video roasting this boss fight. It is the most poorly designed thing I've ever played. Like it breaks design fundamentals. It admits its own flaws while you're doing it. It is a lesson on how not to design a boss or a game on like 20 levels. I'm going to do it one day. I have to. But it was a bad game. So it kind of sucks if that's the reason why, but just give us a Banjo. Come on. What are you doing? All you have to do is copy these games with Banjo and Kazooie. You're done. It's it. It's the easiest thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, I agree. They've got some properties they could easily work with.
What's another platformer that you want to see, or a 3D platformer that needs to come back?
The ones that immediately come to mind are all Sony ones, really. But things like Sly Cooper,
Jack and Daxter, for sure.
Jack and Daxter. I never played a lot of those games, but to see them revived, I think would be pretty cool. Wasn't there a Sly Cooper game not that long ago? I guess it was probably
that's probably 10 or 12 years. And I don't remember it being that great, to be honest. But I would like, if I was Activision, I'd be saying we should give Crash Bandicoot the full 3D treatment and not do I love that 4 embraced the origins and the actual original Crash Bandicoot games, but it's prime for a 3D version, 100%.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's an amazing game. I don't want it to end. I literally can't stop playing it at times. And even in those moments where I feel like, I'm kind of burnt out, I get to the next area and it wins me back every single time. And I did not feel that way with Astrobot. I played Astrobot in chunks. It's like, I've had enough for now. Not really blowing me away. Even though I love the game.
I do find that Bonanza has sort of the Breath of the Wild and I guess the Mario Odyssey thing where it's I want to keep exploring. I find something and it brings me closer to something else. And I'm like, okay, what's around the corner? And keep digging here. And, it just... you kind of can't put it down.
As you go through the layers, everyone is so unique, and I'm like, how are they going to come up with something new? There's a lot of layers, dude. This thing's a big fucking onion. You're peeling the layers back when you're going to the planet core, and I thought it was going to be okay. You reach sublayer 1000, and that's the core. It felt like a natural thing, and it's not even close. So I had a target in sight and I was way off on that target, which is a credit to the game and how much content is in it. There is a ton of content in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
If I do have to be critical, and this is a pretty big criticism, although it's true of most Nintendo games, except for Breath of the Wild, bosses, super easy. Especially if I beat some bosses in 30 seconds. Like, I don't even go through 3 phases sometimes. I'm just like, I'm wailing on these dudes.
Yeah, and if you do the getaways, then you can really build up a lot of hearts if you rest at one of these getaways before you do a boss fight. So, yeah, that is true.
I'm hoping there's, a boss mode, or some bosses do recur. That's a bit of a spoiler, but I mean, I love the Void Kongs, all 3 of them. Brilliant character design, visuals. I'm just very rarely I see a misstep in this game, if ever. And when I do, it acknowledges itself and corrects itself immediately. So the highest of praise to Nintendo for this game. And I'm going to stop. I could talk about it more. I'm going to hold back for a review.
Yeah, we're going to do that review.
It's too good. And if you're on the fence about a Switch 2, if you've got even a little chunk of Quiddly hanging around, get on it. It's a no-brainer. I was trying to convince Dwayne today at the park playing tennis. I'm like, dude, it's the best game. You have to have it. It will. He says, well, I guess he doesn't get that into games sometimes, and he bought Assassin's Creed Shadows a long time ago and really hasn't played it. The second you start, or not the second, because I broke this, but as soon as you get into it, you are into it. It is so addictive. And addictive in the best way possible. Sometimes, you get drunk and then you wake up the next day, you have a hangover. There's no negative aspect to the addiction here. It's all positive. You wake up the next day and you're like, oh, I love this game. I can't wait to go play it again. I don't have a hangover. I feel better than I've ever felt in my fucking life. I love video games again.
Bananas are a lot healthier than alcohol. So.
Absolutely, Sean. I can't wait. I'm on the Radiance layer right now. So good. So good.
Okay. How far are you, do you actually know percentage wise?
No, I think I've got 3 layers left, maybe 4.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm 100%ing every layer before I move on, except for one. Sean and I talked about this on the weekend. The part where you have to choose between 2 paths, there's 1 gem in that level that you can't get without a power from the other side. And I'm assuming vice versa. And that was my first oh, really? And I didn't want to look at a guide for this game at all. And I kept trying to get this one. And I'm like, I can't get this. I don't know what to do. And I looked it up. Eventually, I broke down. I was embarrassed. I was full of shame. I tried for an hour. So maybe that's the reason I'm not done the game yet. That's who's to blame. But I broke and I looked it up, and I'm glad I did, because it said, you cannot get this yet. And I'm like, oh.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Because I was
on an island up in the sky.
Oh, no.
That's the only one. That's the only one you can't get.
Really? Okay. There's one I was stuck on, and we're going to have to talk offline, but.
Okay. And I do love when you go to an area that you can do everything. You don't have to backtrack. It feels like a bit of a cheat to me. Find the fun in the mechanics you currently have in the game now, and let me explore that and save your fun ideas for future mechanics for future levels. To not necessitate going back. It feels wrong to go back in the game. Go forward. Do everything and go forward is the only way to play. All right. I'm very passionate about this game. And if you have not played it, you need to. If you have played it, maybe I'm blind. Maybe I'm missing something that's wrong with this game. Tell us in the comments. YouTube.com/GameJunk. But I don't think you're going to be able to. I really don't.
They can try.
All right. That's it for Bonanza for now. Maybe the last 3 layers will be turd layers. And I'm out, But I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
I might have spoken too soon that this is the greatest game ever. I hope I haven't.
You might be digging through literal turds in the final layers.
All right. That's it for me. Sean, I think you got a few other things.
I'll just a couple quick things. I did play a bit of Tony Hawk 3 and 4, 3+4. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, which
HD?
is on.
Isn't there like another qualifier remake or?
I don't think this one's HD. I could be wrong, but so this is also on Game Pass, and
I didn't know that. Oh yeah, Activision makes sense.
Yeah, I think Tony Hawk 3 might have been my most played of the Tony Hawk games because it was like one of the first games I got for the GameCube. So I was enjoying playing through the first few levels of that. I haven't jumped into part 4 yet, but I understand that game, I don't really remember playing it. So I think that was the start of like the Tony Hawk's Underground, where they kind of had more of an open world thing. And that's not what this game is. They just took the levels and made them like playable parks, basically. So I'm a little curious.
Wait. So I really didn't play Tony Hawk much. I sucked at it. If there's one game I suck at, it's Tony Hawk.
Really?
If I had to put that on my worst games of all time, it would be top of the list.
I know you hate skaters, but
I don't hate skaters. I hated them in high school.
You're talking about games that are addictive. Like Tony Hawk back in the day definitely had that addictive loop of one more try. And
sorry, but what were you saying about? Is it actually different from Tony Hawk 3? Like the levels are different from what you played at the time?
So part 4, 3 is pretty much the same.
Okay.
But 4, I believe they don't have the open world element. So I'm not totally sure if it's really different. I got the impression that there are levels that were already there, but they don't have the open world element. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm seeing on Reddit right now, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake. It's not a remake. It's a reimagining. And they are speaking specifically about the lack of free roaming you speak of in part 4.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's interesting is that apparently they added like 2 or 3 levels to the game. Like, so they're brand new levels that the current development team put together. And like one of them is a water park, which I think is kind of on the cover of the game. And I can't remember what the other 2 are, but like, I'm curious to see those just because they're new and they sound interesting. But I mean, the feel of the game is great. It pretty much, like a lot of the muscle memory came back to me. I was having one issue, which it might have just been a me thing. I'll mention it in case it bothers anyone else. But like when I was going off ramps and trying to do spins, I was holding like the trigger button and I kept like exiting the ramp instead of going up and doing spins. And I think it's because, I read something online that is like used for transfers. So you should use the shoulder buttons, not the trigger buttons.
Ew.
Rotate, which I don't love the feel of that, but that fixed my issue. So
I thought I remembered the bumpers being for like manuals and transfers in the games.
Manual is just the up and down
on the D-pad?
On the D-pad or the stick.
Okay.
I think the transfer was always on, or the revert is also on the trigger. So I don't know. I'm confused as to what exactly was making me exit there, but it was the button I was using. So, but yeah, it's other than that, it's good. If you play Tony Hawk before, they've got new music in there that is similar in style and vibe. And, I actually kind of like that they're using different music that still fits. So,
you're not upset about the music changes?
No, I am not.
Isn't this a big controversy?
It might be. I don't know. I could see that people want the nostalgia of those songs, but I feel like I've heard them so much that I'm guessing something different.
And what people should be doing, or they have done, is just make playlists and use your streaming music services while you play and recreate the music.
You could definitely do that. So not a huge deal.
All right. What else you got?
The other thing I was going to mention is a game called The Drifter. So this is out now. I haven't played the full game. I haven't purchased it yet, but I did play the demo a couple of weeks ago and I plan to purchase the game. So this is a new point and click adventure game, pixel art, but it's kind of got I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's not as much of from what I saw, it's not as much of like a puzzle-y, find all these different items and combine them like a LucasArts or a Sierra game. Like it's a little more narrative where, it's not like you don't really get stuck for an hour on something, but it's telling a story, and it's got kind of I don't know, I guess it's kind of a noir vibe, I would say. Like, there's narration, and it's kind of a darker story. And the voice acting is really good. And like the art style, it looks initially, like if you look at stills, it kind of looks like a LucasArts type thing. But when you see the animation, it's very fluid and different in that sense. Like it's got a cool style to the animation. So
you're saying LucasArts games were not animated fluidly. That's your definitive.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, they definitely are a product of their time, perhaps. But yeah, I just thought it's picking up the ball and adding to it and doing something a little new. I also thought it was cool. I mean, it seems like an obvious thing, but just moving the mouse around the screen would kind of give you little descriptions of what you're hovering over, instead of having to like walk over, click on something. Oh, what is this thing? And then get a little description of it. Like it's pretty, like it kind of is removing some of the friction, as you like to say. So
yeah, that's a nice little innovation.
Yeah. So I'm
looking at this developer's previous games, Powerhoof, and I've never heard of this other game, Crawl. It's like a multiplayer dungeon crawler. It looks pretty cool.
Oh, I think I own that on Steam, but I don't think I've ever played it. But it sounded like a cool idea.
Yeah, I like the visuals.
I think one person's doing the dungeon crawl, and then other people can control the monsters and stuff and try to set up traps and stuff to stop them. So,
oh yeah. I was missing that aspect, but you were correct. It looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
There's just so many games. It's so crazy when I stumble across a game that I'm like, I can't believe I've never heard of this. Or
like that VR game from the other night.
Yeah. What was that? Arcan something?
Arcan Age?
That's what I thought. Arcan Age, which is like got really good reviews. It's on sale on PlayStation right now, and I'm thinking of popping on it. Did you play it?
I haven't played it, but I did pop on it.
I mean, the sale ends this week, so I'm thinking of popping. Although I know I'm never going to play it, but I still gotta pop.
You gotta pop.
Speaking of popping, did you pop on Mario Party Jamboree Plus TV Enhanced Edition?
Kind of annoyed about this. Yeah, so we were talking at the beginning of the show about the Xbox price thing, where they're like going back a little bit and taking the prices down a bit. Nintendo is going the opposite direction. And so the Mario Party Jamboree TV, or whatever the new Switch 2 upgraded version of that game is called, is out. And when we were originally talking about the Switch 2 upgrades, it seemed like Switch, if you have the Switch Online membership, you get the upgrades for all the games. It's not the case.
No, I did not think that. I did research early on for that, and it's just Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, so I thought it was, and I was kind of disappointed. But I mean, I was shocked that the price to buy the new Mario Party Jamboree, the Switch 2 version, if you don't own the other version, is like $115 or something like that. $120 in Canada. I don't get it, man. Like, it's a $30
First of all,
upgrade.
No one should be doing that. No one should be buying just the base version of Part 2.
Yeah, I guess you could still buy the old one and upgrade it. So it's $30 for the upgrade.
That's the first rule. Second rule, you should be doing it with vouchers. It's a voucher eligible game. So if you have Nintendo Online, you should be buying a voucher 2-pack. And third, just pro tip, if you have a Costco membership, you should be buying all your Nintendo cards and currency from there. You get $100 for $90, and you get executive rewards points if you're an executive member. And so then you get a 10% discount on that. Then you buy your vouchers with that. And then it helps. It might get you a little trash quest for free along the way, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
You got to get stuff where you can.
So did they announce that they're getting rid of the vouchers? I think they did, right?
I don't think so. But they've certainly, I believe, said that I don't think Switch 2 games will be able to use vouchers.
That is definitely true.
I'm guessing they will introduce a voucher program for Switch 2 at some point, but probably not because they'll just lose money on it.
So January 30th, 2026 is the vouchers will be discontinued. So if you're sitting on any, you better spend those soon.
Oh, I got one. I was going to buy two more.
But yeah, for the rest of the year, it's still a good idea if you're looking to buy some Switch games and upgrade them to Switch 2. That's a good way to do it.
Mm-hmm. All right, use that noggin when you're buying stuff. Don't just... The motto is #buy. But it doesn't mean you can't think before you buy. Do a little research, save yourself some money. You're still buying. You're just doing it the right way. And I tell my friends, they tell me, oh, I bought this thing. I bought this. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, talk to me first. You could have saved $100 or there's like, I am astonished
through Frank
when people just buy something, and especially a major electronics purchase, and don't talk to me first. What are you doing? I'm a valuable resource. Okay. Yeah. All right. Is that it, Sean? That's all I got.
That's it.
I have been playing Rematch a bit still every day.
Yeah.
My God, some people on that game drive. I love the game. Some of the people you play with and against just drive you nuts. Pass the ball, please. Everyone tries to go through a whole team on their own. It's absolutely infuriating. But I'm a team player. What are you going to do? Yeah. Not everyone has that mentality. All right. That's it for this week's show. Big game release this week is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Still not available for pre-order on PlayStation.
I think we mentioned this last week, but like it's sounding very good chance of a Nintendo Direct this week.
Ooh.
And because apparently Metroid Prime 4 got a bunch of ratings announced or something. So
that was my next question for you. What do you think the release date is going to be for Metroid Prime 4?
I'm going to say November 6th, my birthday.
Wow. Imagine. I'm going to say, now, it is worth noting, as part of the Switch 2, I think Nintendo, like, just kind of covert switched their drop day from Fridays to Thursdays. I think trying to get like an edge or thread the needle between Tuesday and Friday to just have it for their own, or maybe steal some cash from Friday releases. But it's got to be a Thursday now. I'm going to say October 16th is my prediction. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm still loving Nintendo. All right. Thank you for listening or watching on youtube.com/GameJunk. Discord links are there. Leave a message or a comment, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.